Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of questionable parentage, it is your homeboy Captnretro, and guess what? I am making a new video. Hooray for me, hooray for you.
Captnretro, it's the Captnretro Show.
What you're looking at is a 1979, maybe? Meteor by Stern. It is beat beyond belief. Now, it works 100%. It's got all brand new boards, got LEDs in it. The playfield's in pretty good shape. It could use a plastic or two, but the body and the cabinet, that's a brand new power supply. The cabinet, the body, just everything is disgusting. Look at that coin door. Doesn't it make you want to throw up on yourself? It makes me want to throw up on myself. This is woodwork, if you want to call it that, that's been ripped apart. Giant gouges taken in the side. I mean, it honestly looks like it's been through a meteor attack, which is pretty neat. This is like one of the first licensed pinball games. Meteor is a movie from the 70s, and I've obviously, if you watch this channel long enough and you've seen everything I made, which is about 8 of you, then you've seen the video I did on that movie and this pinball machine. But what we're gonna do is we got some brand new pinball pimp stencils in that white box right there, sitting next to a hyper fighting control panel that's going to go into that hyper fighting game that is there. Working on a head on. Got a Pac-Man I'm working on. Just fixed up this Tempest cabinet that is now playing a game called, what is it called? Something Knuckle. Bare Knuckle? Knuckle Bash. Okay. It plays Knuckle Bash, and at some point someone decided to make a new controller panel but only put player 1 through it. They have player 2 wired ready to go, and they just like, no, I don't want to play with anybody else. So we're going to fix all that. We just fixed this multi-cade. That's playing a 3-in-1 board. It's got Donkey Kong, Galaga, and Frogger on it. We still got the SpongeBob virtual pinball machine we're working on. This is the playfield for the Meteor. And if you'll recall in long time ago videos, this is the exact same Meteor that I found in the big Alabama honey hole purchase. We got it fixed up 2 years ago, sold it to a guy down in Middle Georgia, and he had it in his comic book shop, and then it stopped working, so had some issues. Really, it was simple. It's a couple wires came undone, some wires broke. But look at all the junk in it. Like, it's just disgusting. So anyway, long story short, I was able to talk him into buying it back from him. And it deserves a full-on like restoration. It's a very cool game. The game plays great. It's built for tournament play. It's got a lot going on for an older game, and it deserves my love. Now, it is not a super rare or expensive machine. I say maybe when I get done painting it and everything, it might be $3,500 somewhere in there. But it's a sought-after game in tournament spheres because of how it plays and what it was built to do, and the scoring is very fair, and it's a fun game. So anyway, long story short, you're looking at the before, and I will definitely make an after. We'll probably make a little bit as we go along and sand away and do things here, but if you've seen this process once, you've seen it a million times. Pull the side rails off, we're going to pull the legs off, we're going to get the coin door out of there, we're going to pull the shooter off of it, we're going to strip flipper buttons and everything, legs obviously off the cabinet. That's pretty much ready to go. We can start sanding and bondoing and getting this put back together. It needs help. There's a lot of water damage in this corner that I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do to solve that. At the moment, I might get me some hardener and try and harden it up and sand it down and get it at least looking semi-normal again. This is the lock that has been warped from water damage, and it's just going to flake, and this is just going to be gross when I start to sand on it. So we might have a little bit of a Bondo adventure here on this corner, but nothing we haven't done before and can't handle. This cabinet is honestly not in terrible shape other than the outside like scratches and conditions of it. It's solid with the exception of this top corner that must have been getting a drip through that barn on it over the course of however many years it sat there. It could stand a new foot. It's missing a foot on the back. But other than that, it's ready to get beat up again by me and my machinery and turned into a pretty machine for people to play again. So here's the point in the video where my microphone on my camera stops working again. Look at my big fat face. I am on a journey again to lose some more weight. I'm in a good relationship with a great woman, and I'm happy, and I love her, and we love food, and food is my love language. So I've been fattening her up too. We both got to lose some weight. Anyway, long story short, this cabinet's just not going to be fun to do. There's a lot of Bondo work needed. We're going to have to pull some veneer back. We're going to have to fix all of these little scratches and the little wood filler eyeballs they've got there that you can see right there in that M. That's what we're going to do. We're going to set the camera up and make that happen. So let's follow the journey. We're going to start bondoing, and you'll see what I do. All right, so went ahead and bondoed it up. I want to just, get it to sandable, flat and even, and make sure it's across and right. So we've loaded her up with Bondo. The top of the back box had a lot of issues too, and we are going to again sand it all down and sand the paint with it. It will all come off and then get painted black again. But I wanted to go ahead and just kind of get it on there and let it dry up, and then we can start sanding it, or flat into the areas we want around it. And I know exactly where my big bad spots were before I take it all to bear, and then got to like really hand touch them and look at them. So I took all my big spots, made them down. Now we've thrown Bondo on it. Then we're going to sand it all, and if we need to do more Bondo, we can. If I need to do some, there might be some wood hardening that needs to be done to this corner here. This is like particle board, this outside rim piece. Of course it is, and it's absorbed some water over the years, so it's got some damage to it. It's never going to be 100% perfect. I don't want to mess around with the inside part of it here where it goes over, and it's definitely, you can see I can squish it, you know what I mean? But hopefully it holds. It might not even hold this Bondo when we get to sanding it. It might rip it all off. Excuse me. Good God. But we'll get to that bridge when we cross it. The bottom corner had a little bit too. We might have to do some more Bondo. I've got a couple more cans of it inside. So that's where we are. This is not a huge project, but a pretty big project. And I think I'm going to leave the original back wall alone. It's, again, particle wood. If I start sanding it, it's just going to look even worse. So I'm going to leave that alone. We will touch up the black line around the corner here, where a piece of this, this is actually like wood here, this little side piece, but like it lost a piece there. So I may just leave that alone. But the body and the sides, front, sides, and top are all going to get new stencils and new everything. And I think it comes with a stencil for the back, but I'll leave the original one alone. And I may or may not repaint this neck red. It's red from the factory, but you can never see it, so does it matter? I'll probably paint it red. I was thinking about changing the colors on it too, color swapping, like doing it black, obviously, for the body, and then instead of red, doing like a purple and orange for the flames. But like, that'll look too much like a college. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It should probably be original, huh? It should probably be original. Look how nice the El Camino's looking over there. It sure does look good. All right, so we've gone through and we've done like the initial bondoing to the areas we wanted to. I've laid a base coat of black and primer on, and we're going to go through after this sets up and tacks for a little bit, and I'm going to check any high spots, low spots we got. We'll go back around it and through it, do a little bit more sanding, maybe a little bit more Bondo if we need to, especially on this back box area. I got this side pretty good. The top was really flaking, lots of areas of the laminate coming off on the top. And this top side where there was water damage, I had some wood hardener. We got some of that in there. It's still a little flaky around the lock area. I'm gonna let this dry. We're gonna Bondo some more. I want this paint to help harden this a little bit, is why I went ahead and painted it all. I'm gonna let the paint get on there and do a little bit of hardening and setting in, and hopefully that'll help keep some of this next layer of Bondo on. Like, it'll give something to stick to, because this shit was just kind of flaky crap particle board that's peeling up. So there's a couple spots definitely on this area that I want to address and correct. But for the most part, it's pretty good. There's a little bend still here you can kind of see, but it's not all puffy and fat and stupid around the corner anymore. Hopefully the paint soaks into this wood a little bit, or this fake particle board, and it kind of stiffens it up a little bit more, and I can get some better Bondo attachment to it and sand it down again. It's very shiny on top. I don't want it to be all shiny like this. That's a big layer of Bondo. It's kind of laying in a lake on top and on the corner here. But I'd rather it soak into this area around this lock that you can kind of see is just crap. Hopefully we'll get that handled. All right, you know, we've done the stencils. We've got the red on. We got the black looking good. It is not 100% perfect. There are things we're going to have to touch up. We've had a couple little runs, a little bit of a build up right here on the end of this R. We got to touch that up. A couple little spots in the front to go through and make sure we got. But this is the first stencil that goes on, the red. We are painting the top of the neck back red again. And I will go over after I get done, and any red over. It's very windy out here today, very windy, and I'm getting a lot of light overspray on my black areas that I didn't cover because I'm an idiot. So we got a couple little runs to fix and a couple little things to go on. This side is more runny than the other side. The top, you can kind of see that layer of pink going across the top, so we're gonna have to go back and get some more black on it. But it's coming together. I left the back alone, and I'm going to tell you why. Not only is it the original, but I didn't want to mess up the wood, but the stencil I was sent to replace it, 99 times out of 100, he sends perfect stuff, or at least visually you can't tell a difference. This is the stencil he sent to replace. Maybe I can get it out of the sunlight. And like, it's got like breaks between the letters here. The Meteor is supposed to be like that. We'll let that thing fly away because the wind wanted to take it, but like, that's not how it is on the original. So I'm gonna leave it alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Otherwise, it's really looking together good, and when the yellow gets on there, it's really gonna come together nice. I went with a flat matte for the base. That is a apple red gloss for the red, and we've got a yellow, whatever we're gonna use for the yellow. I forgot exactly what I bought. It's like a gold or a... No, that's the red I use. Apple red satin. And I don't know what I do with my yellow. It's around here somewhere, but that's not important. What is important is it's gonna look good when it gets on there. And this we're not gonna use. I might paint that on something else eventually, you know, just for decoration around the shop here. This is a Street Fighter 2 control panel for a hyper fighting that we're about to rebuild. Someone built this game and I made a little short about it, but they only put 2 buttons in. You get to punch and you got to kick, and the second player only gets to punch right now. And why would you wire up a working Street Fighter 2 game and not give everybody the option to use all the buttons that come with the game? That makes 0 sense to me. Long story short, we are almost at the next stage here. And then when we get done, we're going to clear coat the entire thing. So it will be a shiny, glossy finish when it gets all done. But right now, I definitely didn't want the black to be glossy. When you do black on wood, and you can see here on the top, like you can see the grain, and when it's really glossy, it's bad. Like, there's still some edge issues here with this particle board crap that I really couldn't get to not do what it's doing. I'm gonna go back eventually here with another really fine sander and try and sand it, and I will blacken up the corners again on that part. This part on the top corner over here was really the biggest glaring issue, and as you can tell, it's got like a bend to it from just the natural way the wood has like warped. But we did get it back down to a corner. Basically, this area still has some bad particle board crap going on that we will eventually solve, and we will replace the lock and have a locking mech in there. But I got it as good as I could. It's never going to be 100. I probably should have taken the LEDs out before I spray painted it black. overspray got them. So we'll clean it up. We'll clean all the fronts of all the scoreboards. Everything works in this game, and it'll look great when it's done. It will look great when it's done. It'll look a billion times better. It already looks a billion times better than it did with all the chunks of wood in it and the rips and the tears and just the old crap. So that's where we're at. Yeah, good times. All right, here we go. We got the yellow on. We've got clear coat drying in the windy day we had today. And it's pretty shiny. You can't see it from this side without the light on it. Maybe I should turn it towards the light. That don't look half terrible. I mean, there's some spots. You know, I like to keep it as factory as possible, and trust me, the factory didn't care. There was runs, there was bad alignments, there's all kinds of stuff going on. There's a couple little runs and some paint, a couple spots. That Krylon triple thick though, man, it goes on and it looks like glass when you get done with it. Like boy, it looks good. Wachow! All right. Getting back to what it deserves to look like. And again, I left the back alone. That's the original paint, but I did clear coat over everything. So it's got a little clear coat on it now, just to help seal and protect. Pretty freaking proud of it, you guys. We'll get it put back together and make a little video of it. There are multiple things in the captain's garage right now that are getting worked on and being fixed and getting ready to be sold. We've got a Tempest here that's playing a game called Knuckle Bash. It works. I'm about to rebuild the control panel on it and make it just a Knuckle Bash. That's what it is, and then I'm going to try and sell it like that. The Multicade 3-in-1 is going to hopefully go out into a bar here pretty soon, along with the Meteor Pinball machine for a while until it sells. And then we got the real big next thing coming up is this rebuild of this ridiculous Turbo Hyper Fighting Street Fighter 2. And we will do that. And then this head-on, too. I've got power supply stuff to rebuild it. Hopefully I can get it up and playing. It's cool. The joystick on it is awesome and huge, and like that's a big old ball on there. That's pretty cool. So I want to make that work again. It's black and white. Pac-Man is in line. There's another Miss Pac-Man downstairs, and there's a storage locker with about 15 games in it too that I got to get fixed. So I promise to make more videos. I appreciate you guys coming around again. Hey, how you been? It's been about a year. Captain!